everyone, and welcome back to English Talks with Anna. Today I'm gonna tell you to stop using very. It is very important, it's crucially to stop using it if you want to sound more advanced and even more fluent. So let's have a look at different examples and different alternatives that you can use. Firstly, we have emotions. Let's have a look at them. Instead of saying very afraid, I'm not afraid. Yeah. You can say fearful, very aggressive, forceful. So for example, you can say that she was very aggressive towards her mother. She was forceful towards her mother. Very amazed, we should say astonished. I was astonished by this view from the skyscraper. Very angry. Or we can say furious. I am furious that he cheated on her. I hate him so much. For saying very calm, you can use serene. So you can say that everything is serene, the weather is serene, and it looks like we're going to have a pleasant flight. When you feel very embarrassed, you know what you can say? Ashamed. So for example, let's say I broke my mom's cup and I'm very embarrassed. I am ashamed because it was her favorite cup. When you feel very empty or something is even very empty, you can use the word desolate. So for example, the space is desolated. Let's say you're watching this video or you know that the video is gonna come up next week. You're very excited. You know another word which you can use? Thrilled. I am thrilled for you guys to see this video.
Nice.
Well, another of positive emotions is very happy. Instead, we can say ecstatic. So, for example, I am ecstatic because this day has been going so well. But we all have that feeling when we are very hungry. You know what we can say instead of that? Starving. This one is very important because it is so commonly used in daily conversations that you should really know this word, starving. I'm starving, my head is spinning. And you know when this is just a fun fact, when you're hungry and angry, we say that you are hungry.
I'm not usually this emotional, but I get really hangry and...
Then after a long day, right, of work, of school, you might be very tired. Another way of saying this is exhausted. Then also maybe something sad happened and you feel very upset. Instead of saying very upset, I suggest you to use distraught. I'm distraughted by this situation. Then when we might feel very worried, you know what we can use? Distressed. I am very distressed that my payment hasn't gone through yet. But of course there's more adjectives rather than emotions, right? We have a lot of adjectives that describe different words, describe actions, objects. So let's have a look at them. Descriptive words. So we have something very accurate, right? But you don't really want to use very accurate and no one really says very accurate. Instead, I suggest you to use exact. For example, let's say your boss asks you for something and you give the paperwork and he says, this is exactly what I wanted. He's not going to say this is very accurately was done by the steps that I told you. No, exact. As well as you can be very aware of something. Conscious, very good word to use. When something is very basic.
Yeah, basic.
Like let's say table is so basic, the story is very basic, the plot story of the movie is very basic. You can use the word fundamental. It's fundamental. The story is fundamental. I'm not really interested to go and watch it in the cinema. But you also might want to tell someone a compliment, right? You might say that they are very beautiful. Instead say gorgeous, stunning. There's so many adjectives for this word actually. When you want to say something very big, use the word massive. This TV is massive. This camera is massive. This city is massive. Another word you can also say is huge, but massive kind of gives the emphasis that is so big. Then for example, let's say something is very boring. You can simply say dull. This was very dull. I want to go home and watch my TV. something can be very bright. You can barely see. We would say luminous. For example, we can say the lights were luminous. I could barely see anything. I was blinded by the lights. But let's say you're working hard, you're doing a lot of school, and you're very busy that you can't really meet up with your friends. Instead of saying very busy on the test, you can say I'm swamped. I'm literally swamped, guys. I have no time. I would love to meet up, but I'm swamped right now with work. Also, when we call something very cheap or someone very cheap, we can say stingy. Stingy. Quite a funny word to use, I think. And of course you probably know this one, right? When it's very cold, like minus 10, 20 degrees, you can say, I'm freezing. Can you give me a coat or a scarf, please? Or a hot cocoa? Hot chocolate?
I am freezing, I am freezing, I am absolutely cold.
When you feel concerned, when you feel very concerned, like our parents probably concerned a lot of the times, right? What we are doing, especially if we're doing something they don't like, they're very concerned. Instead of saying very concerned, we can just say worried. But if we want to describe that something is very colorful, right? I don't know, like this hoodie is very colorful, the sky is very colorful, the picture is very colorful, we can say vibrant. Also, when we want to say that someone is very confident, we can say self-assured. For example, I'm very confident in front of the camera. I am self-assured in front of the camera. But when something is very dangerous, like, I don't know, jumping off the cliff or something like that,
very dangerous!
another word which we can use is perilous. Not a very common word that you would hear on the street, but it is a word that you should know. Perilous. When something is very dark, right? It's opposite of colorful or bright, we can say lightless. So for example, there are no lights in this room, time is past sunset, so it's lightless in here. Then, for example, you're doing an assignment, right? And it's very difficult. You know what word you can say instead of very difficult? Arduous. So for example, this assignment is arduous. It is killing me. Then when we say that something is very dirty, like this floor in here is very dirty, because people were coming in here with dirty shoes, we can say filthy. The floor is filthy in here.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
When we want to see that something is very dry, like, I don't know, the bread is dry, the air is dry, my hair is super dry, we use a word, aerate. It is aerate in here. But if we want to say that someone is very friendly, we use a French word, amiable. So are you amiable? And then if we want to say that they're very funny, or the situation is very funny, the book, the movie, we just say hilarious. It is hilarious. That's hilarious. Of course, if we also want to say that something is very heavy, like let's say you're carrying a big bag of presents like Santa Claus, you know what word we can use? Instead of saying it is very heavy, leaden. Oh, this bag is leaden. It is killing my bag. And of course, when it's very hot in the summer, we can say scalding. Or as well as we can say it's boiling hot. It really depends on what we're talking about. But both of them are very common to use. Don't forget to put a like and of course subscribe to this channel and press the bell notifications so you know when the videos come out. I hope to see you next week. Bye.